Good evening, Drew.
Hi, Paul Baylor.
Hey, how you doing?
What day is it? I mean, it's obviously Thursday, but
It's Thursday.
I don't know. This has been such a week, and I'm just sick of computering this week. I can't do any more computering. No more computers this week. I just want to be done. Were you one of the lucky few to get your graphics card ordered for your son?
No, I was,
Okay.
I was,
Yeah, well.
I was most certainly not. My experience
Yeah.
was like I woke up this morning and I, opened up a bunch of web pages, and they were all not available for sale yet. And then I turned and I did something at work for like 30 seconds. It felt like 30 seconds. It may have been a few minutes. I went back and refreshed, and every place was sold out. It was like just gone.
Yeah, the
instant.
hype is definitely real, and I
Yep.
was reading an article shortly before we started recording that. So apparently there were a couple things that happened. Newegg, which I think is kind of the site to order from online if you're ordering computer parts. Apparently they had so much traffic that it eclipsed Black Friday,
Wow.
which I guess. And then the NVIDIA launch, because NVIDIA sells these cards direct if you don't want to buy them from a third-party manufacturer. So apparently there was some confusion about when they were going to go on sale. A lot of people signed on last night at midnight thinking they were going to go on sale. But they actually went on sale at 6 a.m. our time, 6 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. our time.
Yep.
And, apparently on the NVIDIA side, I don't know how to break this to NVIDIA, but people that buy expensive graphics cards are usually pretty good with computers. So apparently there were a lot of scripted bots that were designed to sort of go in there and take care of it. So they're actually reviewing every order to see if they can weed out the people who used bots to buy them. I don't know how you do that. I'm sure there's a way, but I'm not smart enough.
Yeah, like they're already going on eBay for like just comical amounts. Yeah. So, I mean, screw those people, but
I mean, it's the invisible hand of the free market, as I think what we're supposed to say. But
yeah, exactly.
I didn't try for a couple of reasons. I knew that it was going to be a mad rush, and I've never had good success trying to order something online like the day that it launches. I've never been one of the lucky few to actually order something when it launches. And apparently, I was talking to a buddy of mine who wanted to get one, and I guess people started lining up at Micro Center here in Columbus, at least last night at midnight.
Wow.
So some people did camp out all night. Now, before I went to bed last night, like around 11 o'clock at night, I just happened to glance at our local Micro Center store, and it looked like they had 12. I mean, they're gone, but they looked like they had 12 that were in their system for today. Now, that leaves me with an interesting dilemma. Do I want to try to get a 3090 when they launch next week? I don't know. I want one, but I don't know if I'm willing to sit outside Micro Center all night. I don't think I have that in me.
Yeah.
But
I didn't try very hard, right? It was just like if one would have fallen in my lap, or, in the odd chance that actually, supply was equal to the demand. But it didn't happen, and there's still plenty of time left in the calendar, and if one comes across my path, I'll get it. And you know what? If not, if the 3070 comes across my path, that's a perfectly good silver medal as well. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, huge upgrade for what he's got, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It also sounds like supply is going to be pretty restricted for the rest of the year, which is the bummer part. I wouldn't mind not getting one next week if I knew that there was going to be a pretty steady trickle of them coming in, but it doesn't even seem like that's going to be the case.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's tough, and you have to, it costs money to produce all these, and you want to get them, on the market as quickly as possible. But I just don't get these companies who are like, yeah, we'll make a couple thousand and we'll just sell them on launch day, and that won't nearly be enough. But it is what it is. Now, I did get my PlayStation 5 pre-ordered, so I was successful with that. Yes.
Okay, so I was wondering if you were able to do it. So what edition did you get? I know nothing about PlayStation anymore. So explain the different editions and kind of how you did this.
So there's two models. They are equal in every way, shape, and form, except one has a disc drive, the other does not. The plain PlayStation with the disc drive, which is just called PlayStation 5, is $500. The one without the disc drive is called the PlayStation Digital Edition. It is $400. Now, there is no way that disc drive costs Sony, even remotely close to $100. So I think they're definitely taking a loss on that one to try to compete with the Xbox Series S, that $300, crippled Xbox. Or $200,
so
whatever. Yeah.
I have a slightly darker, kind of cynical view of why that disc drive comes out to $100 difference. With digital only consoles, you can't buy used games.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
and I think they're trying to recoup some of that.
That very much well could be. I mean, typically consoles are sold at a loss anyway, so it's because they're trying to make it up in games and in volume. But the thing is like usually like. Physical games go on sale more often, and digital games usually don't. So I don't know. It's interesting. I
That's
think
true.
Yeah,
that is also true.
They're who knows? Who knows? I wanted the disc version simply because A, I felt there'd be less demand for it because it's more expensive, and B, I don't have like an ultra 4K Blu-ray player, and I thought, you know what? Like maybe I'll buy one and see what it's like.
Yeah. So you went with the disc version, the disc boy.
I did. I went with the disc boy.
I did not see that. I would have not seen that coming.
I buy most of my games digitally, so like I don't use it. I do have like a handful of PlayStation 5 games on disc, and usually it's because like, what? That's on sale for like $10? Like, sure, I'll buy that. Like, why not? Mm-hmm. And like it doesn't run off the disc anyway. It copies it to the hard drive and it runs off of there. So like it's it's just a distribution mechanism to get most of the bits to you quicker. And like honestly, I got really lucky because like Sony was like, hey, pre-orders don't start until tomorrow. And I was sitting on my computer going, like, I wonder if anybody slipped up and started to sell them early. And I hopped on Slick Deals and I was poking around there, and someone said like, hey, like, I guess GameSpot broke first and they sold out, or GameStop, I don't know, whatever that crappy game store is. And then someone posted and said like, hey, Walmart has them on sale. I'm like, you know what? I'll just throw it in there. And then I put one in the cart and I hit the button and it's like, we're sorry, everything's broke. Please try again. And then by the third time I clicked that button, it had went through. And like I was skeptical. I was like, is this not supposed to go on sale until tomorrow? Like, are they gonna I'm gonna wake up and things be canceled? But no, like all my orders, I ended up making 3 separate orders because of the way like Walmart was selling the console but not selling any of the accessories. So like between like 3 different orders, I got everything I wanted. So, yeah. Now it just has to get here. So
Paul, mm-hmm. I consider you a man of taste, and I think that you like nice things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. First of all, I don't think the PlayStation 5 looks particularly good, but I think that's going to largely depend on just how big the thing is. Have they released dimensions how big that thing is?
It's huge. It is absolutely huge.
So it's huge. It's huge and obnoxiously styled.
I don't mind the size. I actually kind of, the only thing I really don't like is the little like fins in the top where it kind of flares out. Everything else about it I actually like, but it is absolutely huge. Is this the article I'm thinking of? Oh yeah, I'll put this in the show notes. Actually, I got this article is courtesy of Accidental Tech Podcast. But it has some renders of just generally like comparing it to other consoles, and it's big. It's remember how big the PlayStation 3 was?
3 was a chunky boy.
This is much bigger.
So from left to right.
Yes.
PlayStation
Yes.
5. Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Now it looks to be a trick of the eye, but is it flat or is it slightly, I don't know if the word's convex or concave, but is it bowed?
Everything I've read is it is caved, and like that the little stand, like they always show it vertical on that little stand, but you can take that stand off and then use it to put it horizontal, but it will not lay flat without the stand.
Somebody thought that was a good idea. Oh, and does it light up blue? Because we know how much you love that.
I don't like blue LEDs, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It just seems to not tick a lot of the Paul Baylor boxes the Paul Baylor that I know anyway.
Yeah, it is what it is, but it's not my favorite design they've ever done. I'm glad they're trying new things. I'm glad they're not shipping like, hey, just squint your eyes and pretend this is a PC thing that the Microsoft's doing with the Xbox.
Yeah.
If I had to predict, big prediction time, I think this is the last Xbox Microsoft ever ship. That's just me.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I think they're going to put all of their wood behind like the cloud gaming initiative, and I think they're going to continue to do that. But, dude, the Xbox, like they don't sell. Like the only market they sell in is the United States, and they're not even first there. Like they do not sell the Xbox overseas or in Japan. Like it's not a thing. So I just can't see them. I see them putting a lot of money into PC gaming and whatever they're calling their cloud gaming service this day, but I just don't see them making gaming hardware anymore. I think this is the last hurrah for them. I predict that Sony's going to eat their lunch again. They're going to sell 2-to-1 Xboxes like they did for the PlayStation 5 compared to the PlayStation 4 compared to this current generation, and Microsoft will just give up. But
I think it'll largely depend on how good Halo is, right? Because that's the thing that draws people to Xbox. Always has been.
Yeah, but it's only in America. They don't sell any kind of numbers outside of there, and it's But I mean, I think they have like, dude, everything I've read about their cloud gaming service, like that's the real deal. Like they have figured it out, and I think that's going to be huge in the future.
Yeah, to be continued. I don't have any plans to buy one of the new consoles. Now, due to the nature of where I work, I might get a discount on one, and that might persuade me, but I'm not in any rush, especially if I end up buying a new video card. Like I just won't have that money to spend on the other things.
Yeah, I get that. Yep. You got to support your primary system first, and for you, that's
true.
The good old PC.
Now, when will you get this PlayStation?
So according to all the shipping dates, I will get the PlayStation and an extra controller on launch day, so November 12th.
It will be at your not post office or your not mailbox on the 12th. Okay.
Yeah, on the 12th. There's a question. I also bought like the if you go to like the accessories, like I bought the charger because of course I did. Of course I'm going to get the officially branded white charger that looks just like it. And then I also how could you not? And it's not that expensive. It was like $25 or $30. I also this is the thing that I really debated about. Let's see if I can put a link in there. So one of the things that Sony is really touting is like this brand new like 3D audio engine that they have, right? And they're making a big deal out of it. It's supposed to be just supposed to be the cat's pajamas. And I spend most of my time, when I play on the PlayStation listening with headphones in, right? I just like, my son's also up in the same room playing in his computer. It's just something I do so I don't disturb anybody else. So as part of the PlayStation 5 launch, they're also selling these Pulse 3D wireless headset, which is, their headphones that's supposed to be optimized for the 3D audio. That they're I don't know, they're kind of ugly. They're $100. I debated about whether I should buy these or not, and I decided, you know what, like, might as well throw some more money on top of all this. So I ordered a pair of those as well. There's Target says they don't think it's going to come until like between the 13th and the 18th for those particular headphones, but it's fine. Like if I get the console on the 12th, I'll be happy I'll be happy, Drew. Honestly, I'll be happy like if I wake up tomorrow, my order's still not canceled. So I will call that another rousing success.
But what's gonna be the launch game that's you're really looking forward to? Like, what is the one thing you're gonna play first? I guess.
There's actually, so I'm probably gonna hold out playing Cyberpunk 2077 until I can play it on my PlayStation 5. I figured might as well. It's only like well, I don't think that comes out after like November 19th or something. I should know this. It's not technically a launch title because it's coming out like a week later, but I'm gonna play that on the PlayStation 5. And honestly, the Miles Morales game, the new Spider-Man thing. So I'm really excited for that. Cyberpunk comes out November 19th. So that'll probably be the big meaty game that I play first. And in between that time, I'm going to play Spider-Man Miles Morales. So
Miles Morales. Now, can you explain that to me? Like, I don't understand what Miles Morales means.
Remember,
I'm really bad at this.
Okay, so you know Peter Parker, right?
Yes, I am familiar with that person.
Miles Morales is another Spider-Man.
Okay, of course. Why make this easy for somebody like me?
Yep. The big thing about Miles Morales is he's typically younger, a teenager, and he's black. So it was a pretty big deal when he was introduced originally, and he's a really cool character. So if you don't know who Miles Morales is, that tells me you have not watched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
I have not, because again, and
Okay.
I have like this self-imposed gatekeeping that I wouldn't be able to appreciate it as a non-comic book reader.
Nope. Watch it. I'm going to give you homework. Watch that movie. Not only
where can I watch this movie?
I think it's actually streaming on Netflix right now. I'd have to look. It is an exceptional movie. Just outside of the fact that it's a superhero movie, it's animated, of course. The animation style is unlike anything you'll ever see. It's really good. I think it may be the best superhero movie ever made. So,
okay. Now we're talking. So, as somebody who is familiar with superheroes the way that you are, that is pretty high praise.
Yeah, and honestly, like the movie does a good job of it kind of plays on the fact that like there's been like so many different Spider-Man movies before, and it kind of like has a tongue-in-cheek way of introducing all the different Spider-Men and Spider-Man and Spider-Women that you will be exposed to during the movie. It's terrific. It's good, and the animation is just it's incredible. It's you really should watch it. It's really good. Now, you just want to continue on the thing that Paul, more stuff that Paul bought?
Yes, let's go.
So there was an Apple event recently, and I ordered a new Apple Watch, Drew. I ordered one.
Why? So why?
Because I could get a blue one.
Okay, that's fine. We haven't talked about Apple Watches much at all, quite frankly, and I didn't realize that you were sort of in the market for one or pining for one.
I typically so far I think I've gotten basically every other one. I have a Series 4. It's still a great watch. Still like it. I was really envious of the always on screen on the Series 5, which sounds stupid because like an always on screen on a watch. Of course, a watch should always have the screen on. You can always tell the time, but it's a smartwatch and you can't. So I was really envious of that. And when they came out and showed that blue one, man, I was like, I was just it took my breath away. Now, unfortunately, I didn't make the decision right away, so I actually ordered mine the day after they went on sale, and I didn't order one of the stock, like the configurations they had with it. I didn't like any of the bands that came with it. So I did a custom order of the blue watch with just a plain like navy blue sports band. The normal Apple Watch bands. So mine's going to come a little later because it's a custom order. But that's okay. And Apple's going to pay me a pretty good chunk of change for my old watch. So
you did the blue one. I'm looking at the Series 6 right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so walk me through this exactly. So was it blue aluminum case with braided solo loop, or what did you get?
Yeah, so I went in and I got I didn't like. So they introduced like these new like bands that like don't have a clasp. They're just like a bracelet.
Yeah.
And
magnets, right?
No, it's one piece of fabric. It's just stretchy, and you have to like stretch it and put it on. Like it's literally like there is nothing more to it. It is literally just that. Well, I happen to know that like, hey, like most things in your body, your wrists change size during the day, and the way each of those like new watch bands, they come in like 9 different sizes. So you have to like print off this piece of paper and put it around your wrist to know the size. I'm like, that's like, if maybe I could have gone to a store and tried on the different sizes, I'd be more inclined. But I was like, you know what? I like the blue, or I like the regular old sports bands. I've been wearing them every day for a long time. So it's just the blue aluminum case with a navy blue sports band, and plus like that nylon band, that nylon solo loop, that watch band is $100.
$100, you said.
$100. So I didn't want to spend I was like, nah, I don't need it. I'm not sure I would like it. So I went with something I knew I would like. And it'll be here in a week or so. So, yeah, my blue Apple Watch. Now, we're 23 minutes in, Drew. 23 minutes in. I don't want to talk about iOS 14 right now. I have one question on my mind. One.
Okay.
Did you receive the Koss KPH30 IK headphones? And what do you think of them?
Okay. All right. So the headphones did show up last Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I unpackaged them and I hooked them up, and they're perfectly fine.
Okay.
Okay. So first of all, it took me a little while to hook them up to one of my headphone amps because, and here, if I have one gripe with them, is that the cord is not very long.
It's not. It's not at all. No.
Now, for those of you that have never bought like really nice headphones before, a lot of times you don't even get the cord with the headphones. Like these companies, like the sucker you are, basically assume, and they assume correctly, that if a person's going to spend $700-800 on a set of headphones, they might as well go ahead and buy the really expensive, nicely braided, high performance, low interference. I don't know. I'm just saying words.
Gold plated,
headphone cord. And I'm that sucker because when I bought the headphones that I'm using right now, I did that, and I like it because it's a pretty lengthy cord. It's got really nice like cord organization built into it, and I'm sure it's gold plated and all that other stuff. But anyway. So the headphone cable on this is not very long, and the way I have my work desk and the way I have my gaming desk, there's just no good place for me to put this cable that it doesn't interfere with my setup. Okay, so if I really want to use these more, I got to get a longer cable, which I just haven't done. But I have been using it. So my first really experience with it was hooking it up to the Dingus, right? So hooking it up to the handheld Dingus. It's perfect for that. They're exceptionally comfortable to wear. Like even these big headphones that I'm wearing right now, if I'm gaming for like an hour or two, like I just start to get a lot of fatigue because here's one of the here's one of the crappy things about not having hair anymore is the headphone band sits like right on top of my skin.
Oh.
And it
I never thought of that.
It starts to wear on you a little bit. So if you've got like a big headphone thing sitting on your head, I take it off and I have a big imprint where that was, and it's just not great. So these are exceptionally the costs are very, very comfortable to play. In fact, I recently on the little handheld dingus, I went through and I replayed a bunch of NES games that sort of gave me a little nostalgia kick, and I played.
Nice.
Like in one sitting, I played through all of the original Metal Gear on the NES, and
nice.
I laid on the couch and I had the headphones on. The sound quality was really good, especially for like that little 8-bit chirpy type sound. Like,
yeah.
It was perfect. Like that's I think the niche that these are going to live in, because I just don't have the logistics to hook these up to a nice amp yet. And I'm assuming you have.
Yeah, I've hooked them up to the audio equipment I have here. Yeah, like, and if you can give them a little amplification, they sound even better. But they don't need it. Honestly, I think that's a really good idea. I think now that you said that, I'm also going to just kind of like put these with my little handheld like emulator, the RPM 3, whatever
RG350M.
Yeah, that thing. I've been using like a pair of like old like wired Apple earbuds with them, and I never had the epiphany of like these would be really great with that device.
Yeah, and it's perfect. It's perfect. Like I was an AirPod. I was the old earbuds. I don't know. I was the old Bud guy, and I don't know what it is, but those start to hurt my ears after a while. Even though I wear my AirPods all day, like those old Apple earbuds just they hit different, and I can't wear them the way I used to.
I'm the same way. I never really enjoyed those. They were always kind of like my headphone of last resort. They were small. You can wind them up and put them in your pocket, but they never really like felt comfortable to me.
Okay,
but
so
like AirPods, I don't have any problems with. Yeah.
So, and that leads me to my next thing is, these cost headphones. They're made out of plastic and foam for the things. I question how portable they're going to be when and if the day comes we're allowed to start traveling again, and I want to throw this in my Tom Bin bag. Like, how are they going to hold up with travel?
Because I am afraid that if you threw these in a bag, they would just disintegrate.
Yeah. So, like, that's the other thing too. Is I would love to have these for like the airplane or a long car ride or something, because they're really good. Like they're good. They're better than the price tag. Absolutely no quarrel there. Mm-hmm. But I haven't experienced them to do a true apples to apples to say, yeah, these are better than my $600 or $700 headphones.
Now they also sell, if you like something a little more ugly.
Who doesn't? I mean,
they have what they call the Porta Pro. So
that sounds like a toilet. Okay, Porta
it does.
Pro.
It does. It's literally called the Porta Pro, and apparently they have the same acoustics.
Oh
but,
no!
Mm-hmm.
It has two settings, firm and light. I mean, I do too, but I mean, oh my god, these are
ugly,
terrible. They are terrible.
But they collapse. They you can fold them up into like a little circle, and I don't know whether that makes them more or less durable.
Oh, and they're like way smaller than you think. Like, look at this guy.
I know
who's sad to be wearing headphones. Like, if you put your cursor over this guy on Amazon,
he's just thinking my agent sucks.
Yeah, you've been stock photoed. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. You know what these remind me of? They remind me of the old 80s headphones that had the wire. You remember how they had, like, old headphones used to have that
came with your Walkman?
Yeah. They had, like, that single wire. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. I think that is exactly the vibe they are going with, is that old, like, 80s Walkman. These are the headphones you use because they came with your Sony, Walkman and your cassettes.
God, the look on that woman's face. I have seen that look With so many people I've talked to.
Now, this this link may be my favorite thing on the internet right now. I'm going to drop this in there.
Okay, all right, let's go.
This is a link to the Amazon COS Porta Pro Enthusiast Bundle.
Excuse me?
So if
no, it's like Beats and Tony Stark's chest heart thing had a baby. Look at this.
If you really have this huge obsession with these, cheaply made $30 headphones, and you're like, you know what? I would really like 4 pairs of these for an inflated price, and one of them best to hell be gold. Well,
and listen, maybe hold on a second. I think I'm crazy. Just hold on. I think I'm having a stroke. Okay, do yourself a favor here. So keep that open, right? The Pro Enthusiast. Oh my God, the Pro Enthusiast bundle. Okay, now put your cursor over one of those and look at the logo. Right, like if you look at where it says Comfort Zone, which has the firm and the light. Okay.
Yes.
Open a separate browser tab and go to www.autozone.com and tell me it's not the same logo.
All right. I'm going to AutoZone.com right now.
Tell me that's not the same logo.
It's just backwards.
Right.
Oh, I never knew. That's hilarious.
Oh my God, we're soiling the legacy of the good COS headphones.
Oh. Essentially, for $145, you can get 4 pairs of these in black and silver, black and gold.
Okay, all right, now hold on.
And beige.
All right. So you're familiar with the concept of fuck, marry, kill, right?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So Paul, you happen to have the American nuclear family with your 2.5 children or whatever, right? So you live in a family of 4. Assuming the whole family needs headphones, you order this bundle. Who gets what?
Oh, wow. I think my daughter would go for the gold. She's very. Oh yeah, I think my daughter would get the gold.
Okay.
Zachary would want the black. I would take the.
Well,
black
wait a second.
and silver.
Which one? Okay, so the black without the blue is the one.
Yes, the black with the black headband.
Okay, that's the one Zachary would take. Okay.
Yeah, I would do the black and the silver and blue, and my wife would probably take the beige because she just wouldn't care.
So can I be honest with you? I think of the 4, I think the beige looks the best.
Oh, see, I don't like it at all. I feel like
I don't know.
Ugh.
I think we can all agree that the gold's the worst, but I think
it is.
I think that the brown. I don't know. Like you don't see many brown headphones.
Yeah, and that gold looks worse in person. Like
100%. It's a sticker. It's probably just a sticker.
Yeah.
It's not even plastic. It's probably plastic with a gold sticker.
Yes. Yeah.
And that band is probably some like weird alloy that'll like make your hair fall out or something.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Wow. This is a very good link. This is a very good link.
Yeah. I love the fact that this exists. That they thought, you know what? There's got to be enthusiasts for these headphones.
Well, they're in stock. You could get it by Saturday. Does this have?
I'll pass.
So this bundle doesn't have any reviews, but the other headphones do. And you know what? Okay, all right. I thought maybe there'd be separate reviews for each of these, but like it looks like 2 of them have over 8,000 reviews, and they're very well reviewed. Like 4.5 stars, right? They seem to be pretty well reviewed. Even like the crappy gold one seems to have pretty good reviews.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, that is a link. Oof. Let's get back to reality here. Let's talk about comic books.
Okay.
All right, so I'm continuing to read The Sandman, and I am 100% in on that comic book series. Have you finished the first book yet?
No. I honestly haven't even picked it back up since I read the first issue of that. I've mostly been most of my reading time has been spent with Dungeons and Dragons stuff.
Okay, fair.
Because I'm a big giant nerd. But I do plan on, even before I kind of saw this in there, I did plan, like, I really need to read that and get at least to get that first volume done so we can talk about it.
Yeah, so I just finished volume 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Still really good?
Still really, really good. It's taken some unexpected twists and turns, and it's really good, man. I'm really enjoying it. Like,
good.
And listen, I get it, folks. If you're listening and you're like, oh, if the other person likes the Sandman, oh, how original. Like, okay, listen, this is my new hobby. Let me enjoy this. Okay, yeah. I'm new at this, but it's exceptionally well written, and I like the dialogue just as much as I like the art style. And the characters are starting to get really fleshed out, and there's a lot of recurrences. And one thing that this author is really good at, like Volume 4 is a perfect idea, is the perfect, like, kind of example of this, is each volume, which I'm assuming, every issue in the volume you could have maybe bought originally, but... Mm-hmm. But, like, you'll be reading through the story arc of each volume, and then there will be this issue in there that seems so out of place, but it is somehow tied to the story arc. And there's an incredibly painful yet very well written story in Volume 4 that it got me. Like, it just really got me. Like, it was just really good. It tackles a pretty complex subject. I don't want to give anything away, but it's masterful, and it's drawn in a slightly different art style for a reason, and you sort of realize it halfway through, and it's just really good. I'm really enjoying it. Now, all that aside, since you haven't finished reading The Sandman, I don't want to talk about that, but I gave Batman another shot.
Okay,
and I went with one of your favorites, I think, which is The Court of Owls.
It's good. As far as like the modern Batman, it is. I think it's a really good story.
I really liked it. Really liked it.
Good.
I liked it. I liked it way more than The Long Halloween. In fact, I'm on the hunt to get the next volume of The Court of Owls, and I think that there's 3 volumes of that.
Yeah, I'd have to look to see how they package those up these days, because I read it when it came. Like, I read it when I was. It was one of the few lines that I was still actually getting comics in the mail, monthly. So I have them in individual copies somewhere in a long box somewhere in my house. Maybe unless my wife threw them all away.
And the interesting thing is you refer to it as sort of modern Batman, and the art style, and there's lots of Robins.
Yeah,
I think at one point there's like 3 Robins on the same page, which I don't even want to pretend to understand what's happening there, but yeah, it was really good.
The Bat Family.
Bat Family.
Yes. And I believe like this was part of like let me get my thoughts together. When they did like the big like New 52 reboot, which is when I started getting back into DC Comics quite a bit. This was like the first big like storyline.
So like help me out here. Mm-hmm. Help me out here. Be my human Wikipedia here. So blazoned across the front of my Court of Owls volume collection is this thing that says the New 52. Can you help me there?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yes. So the 52 has a very special number in the DC universe. So if you consider like if you accept that the DC world has a multiverse, like there's multiple Earths, a lot of times they will that number will be 52 different Earths. So here, like 2011, DC did a big revamp, and they kind of like rebooted all of their storylines. And when they did that, they had 52 different series that they all kind of came out and kind of all rebooted together. So that was their big push of saying like, hey, this is the new 52, right? It didn't actually like restart all the stories, but it did kind of. Some of them did, some of them didn't. It was a very confusing time because comics. But that's what that basically means. It was their big, well, 2011 reboot to try to make comics relevant again.
Okay.
Yeah. And like everything kind of got updated to be a more modern lifestyle. But it was also, I think, the introduction of like the dark times of DC Comics, where you couldn't just subscribe to like, say like you really like Superman, right? So you would get maybe there was 2 different Superman lines, maybe you wanted the Justice League comics as well. And you'd get like most of the story, but they had this really weird thing where like they would do like crossover events. So like you would get like if there was like 8 issues to a story, 7 of them were in that Superman line that you already bought, but the other one was like in Shazam.
Oh,
and
okay.
you had to go buy that to get the whole story, or like you'd get most of the story in your line, but there'd be a little box saying this is discussed in more detail in this issue of this series. And like I think it was just a deliberate effort to get more money out of people. And I think comics were a lot worse because of that, and ultimately that's why I kind of gave up on actually like buying comics from them for quite a while. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's the New 52. Yeah. And now it's over, and now it's like Rebirth or something is what they're calling everything. I don't know. It's yeah. Comics, they're confusing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually reading The Court of Owls again because I feel like I didn't read it super fast like I did The Long Halloween, because there was just like the art was so much more detailed, and it gave me a chance to appreciate it a little bit more. But I do want to go back and reread it because like it did this thing where like the pages like rotated.
I love that part. Yeah.
Well, what happened was like I'm an idiot and I started like going backwards because I wasn't realized that I was flipping the left page instead of the right page. And
yeah. I thought that was a really
interesting
use of the medium to kind of portray what is going on to Batman during that time. Yeah.
Batman saw some shit for sure.
Yep. Yeah. And I just think the Court of Owls is a really like it's a great villain. Not to spoil too much, but like the Talon. It was it's just
Yeah.
And that whole like owls versus bats thing, like it was just so artfully done.
Yeah, really, really good. I'm looking forward to continue reading that too.
Awesome.
I haven't been able to find a copy of The Killing Joke yet. I do want to read that one too, but anyway. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about here. So we're recording this on a Thursday. iOS 14's out. I installed it, and I got to tell you, I like the idea of the widgets, but my handy workflows are now completely shot because I have lost 2 rows of icons on my home screen thanks to this weather widget, and everything is not where it used to be, and I'm having a real hard time.
Yeah, so I've been running the betas since it was probably not advisable to do so. So I've gotten used to like the widget lifestyle, and I've kind of like I'm all in on like app library. Like I don't need 8 pages of apps.
Oh yeah, app library. App library, very good.
Yep. I have a couple of widgets on my first screen. I have like my calendar and I have weather. And then on the second screen, I only have one widget, but it is the what is it called? It's Siri. I think it's Siri suggestions, and it basically shows me the apps that it thinks I will want to use at this particular time, and it's eerily smart.
Yikes.
So I like that one a lot because it kind of gives me like 8 icons on that screen. That's usually pretty relevant for what I want. I don't have to have a dedicated space, but yeah, widgets are really great. And more apps are being updated to kind of support it. So I'm kind of curious to see what other developers do with it. Not that they had a whole lot of time, because it was like Apple was like, surprise, iOS 14's out tomorrow. Middle fingers.
Yeah. I wasn't quite ready for it, and now it's here.
Yep.
So here's a dumb question though. I like the widgets. I think they're pretty cool, and I enjoy having it, even though it kind of screwed up my entire screen. But you can't put these on the lock screen, can you?
No, you cannot.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could just have my weather. I could just like always look, or my calendar always up. Hopefully that comes in the future. But I agree. I would love, even if it was just like, hey, you can have 3,
right,
or 1. I'd be okay with 1.
Because here's the thing that kills me about this, right? When I'm on the lock screen, I can hit the lock screen and I can scroll to I can like swipe left and see widgets, but it's like if I'm going to do that, I'll just swipe up. Like
yes.
I don't get it. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Apple, please just give me widgets on the lock screen. It's not a big deal.
Now, I don't know if you use how many photos you take on your phone, or whether you use the Photos app. So on that kind of like slight swipe left screen, I do have some other widgets on there. And the one I really like is the photo widgets, because it's always showing me like just great photos that I've taken in the past, or just things I had kind of forgotten about. It's really good.
Hold on. Let's see that. So you said, okay, all right. So I'm going to click the plus, and then I'm going to go to photos, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so photos. Okay, add widget. Okay, all right. So I could do back in the day. Okay, so now I click done. Now, will these like cycle?
Yeah, every day you get a new set of photos.
A new set of photos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you click on it, it kind of brings up like a For You gallery.
Yeah. Oh.
But like every day, that like top photo will be different, and you'll get some different photos. I just think it's really nice. It's a great touch. It kind of like makes me look at photos that I probably haven't looked at for just years. Like, here's one from 2014 when my son's going to school probably for the first time. He's got his backpack on, and
I'm currently looking at pictures of the Princess Docks and Tower Bridge in London. Because apparently this is when I was there, and it's showing me those. Oh man, good memories.
Yes.
Back in the day, September 7th, 2017.
Yes, I'm a big fan of that widget.
Oh, look. Oh, and I can scroll left and right in memories here, and I can see pictures of when I bought my car.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? That's a good suggestion. Photos now has a place in my widget bar.
Yeah, it's good.
Man, nostalgia bites hard.
Yeah, it's good. Like, I've seen photos that I haven't thought about for years since I've been using that widget. So it's a good one.
It is a good one. It is a good one. I like that. I wonder if John Kruger's listening to this right now.
I don't know I have a funny feeling he's behind, but he eventually
he's truly starting at the beginning.
That feels like a very John Kruger thing to do. But I hope eventually he listens to this and he smiles.
That was our other big news. I feel like we've made it. If John Kruger is not only listening to us but enjoying us, right?
Dude, it made my day.
Made my month.
When I saw that tweet, I'm like, oh, like, wow, like, I mean,
we should probably talk a little in depth about John Kruger and what he means to us, because I mean, I'm a fan. He's the John Kruger, as you say. You know what? Let's take this next 10 minutes and just talk about how great John Kruger is.
Yeah. I mean, I got the privilege of we both you and I worked with John Kruger. He was at our company, and I got the privilege of actually working on the same team with him on the same kind of stuff for quite a while. And he is better than me in every way possible.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know who we're talking about, so if you go to Google and type John Kruger, JONKRUGER, you're gonna get some hits. You'll probably get his website. Now, the thing I most appreciate about John these days, and I'll kind of give my praise of John Kruger more in depth here in a minute, but John's a guy who is an exceptionally talented, respected, and accomplished developer. Absolutely. That's sort of how he got his start in IT, I believe. And he did amazing work at the company you and I worked at, and he's had great success since leaving there. He left there, I think, like a year and a half or 2 years before I left.
Yeah.
And now he is a leader. He blogs and shares his thoughts around kind of process and philosophies on development, right? It's not, his blog is not really technical content. If you're looking for technical content, I mean, he has some of that, but it's mostly around not management. I don't even know what the right word is.
The way I have always kind of viewed it is John cares very deeply about constantly getting better.
Right.
Nothing, even if things go perfectly well, he's always thinking about how things could be better the next time, what went right, what went wrong. And he has this uncanny gift of being able to explain his thoughts very clearly.
Yeah.
And he is he's incredibly patient, and he's an incredibly good teacher.
He is.
It's the times that I've got to work with him very closely, that they're career defining. Like, he's just so he doesn't fall into the traps that like a lot of like, quote unquote ivory tower architects, right, fall into, right? Where they're just thinking about what is possible and not what is practical. Where John has that ability to look ahead and analyze things, but he's extremely pragmatic, but like not overly so. He's mastered this weird balance of like what we need to do today to like ship things versus where we should be going. And it's something I still try to emulate like today. It's not to gush too much, but I personally really, I've always enjoyed working with him. I love listening to him talk. He's one of the few tech bloggers that I still read, like every article he wrote. I make sure that if I don't read it right away, it goes into my Instapaper queue, and I do get to it. He's just so he's John Kruger.
He's John Kruger. Now, what's interesting is, all the success that I've had outside of my day job, I sort of owe to John. Like, John's the one that sort of nudged me in the direction of submitting to conferences and speaking, and that's how I still kind of keep in touch with John, even though I haven't done any speaking probably in over a year now, and well, I don't think anybody has for a while, but John was a guy that sort of helped me get better, right? And I'll never forget. I was a guy who got into work at between 7 and 7:30 every morning, and John was an early worker too. And I just remember he would be there right around the time I would get there, and he would start sending me SQL scripts to run, and and I just John is just a really accomplished guy. He's a role model, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And
yeah, absolutely.
I can't look back on a single time that even if John and I disagreed about something, like, we never let it get in the way of being friends, or we never really let it sour our working relationship. We would get past it, and and we would just keep working, and I always felt, and maybe he would disagree, but I always felt like we always worked great together. He was a guy that just had my rapt attention, my complete respect, still does. And he and I stay in touch from time to time. He's probably the world's best Power Grid player. Even when he hides his money,
even when he cheats,
it wasn't cheating. I'm not going to say it was cheating, but it was very uncharacteristically John Kruger when he just decided to pull an extra $100 from under his seat while we were playing. That's a whole different story. I don't know. But yeah, he's a really good dude, and like, he's just extremely. He's not. As much as we're sort of propping him up, I think he would be embarrassed by it, because he's not a guy. He's not a guy that seeks attention either.
There is not an ounce of ego in his body.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's extremely humble. I mean, and outside of like the job stuff, he's just a really nice person. He's
really
always
is.
friendly. I remember he's always asking how things were going with the family. He was just super like, yeah, John Kruger is amazing. And like, to be honest, like we do this podcast for us. Like if no one listened, like we would probably still do this, but to know that I think both of us, we thought like John Kruger listens to our podcast. Like, like that was huge. So
I'm just what I would love to ask John isn't why he listens, because really, why would anybody listen to this? But but my question to John would be how he found it. Did somebody tell him? Because from his tweet, it sounded like he found it. How do you accidentally find this podcast?
I don't know. And like he tweets a lot less. I think he took a very healthy stance of not being on Twitter as much.
Yeah, good for him.
Which I get, but I can't do. I'm just like I need like another fix for Daddy.
Yep.
So I don't know. That's actually a good question. So and he's offered to be on the show. So I mean, we could ask him.
Well, I mean, I would. Well, so one thing that, you know, just to put this out there, the next time one of us like has to not be available, we should start lining up some guest people, because I think podcasts work really well when it's 2 people. 3 people, I just think it gets a little crazy. And I think we've like sort of unofficially promised the first guest speaking spot to friend of the show, Matt Olms.
That is
if he
true.
still listens.
Yes.
But we need to start lining up some people to kind of fill in from time to time in case people are. Let's be honest. People are probably more sick of me than they're sick of you. But we should probably get.
I doubt that.
We should probably get some guest speakers, just because it would mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, some guest hosts and kind of spice it up a little bit. That would be very interesting. We should talk about that more.
Yes, yeah. So don't be surprised, dear listeners, if you sign in to this podcast one of these days, all 6 of you, or 7 of you now, because John Kruger. That's the new joke. Now we have 7 listeners. But if you sign into this and you don't hear either Paul or myself, do not be alarmed. Oh, God. All right, let's wrap this up.
Yeah, let's do that. As always, you can find us on the internet at doingtheirbest.com or on Twitter at doingbestpod. You can reach me personally at Paul Baylor. That's BAHLER. And where can we find you, Drew?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Pittfurg, PITTFURG. And I haven't been streaming or doing any work, but my next kind of goal, my next kind of community sharing thing is going to be, if I do manage to get an NVIDIA 3090, I might do a live stream where I show people just how much of a pain in the ass it's going to be to like undo my custom water loop to change all this. And people can laugh at me.
That card is so big.
It's so friggin' big, dude. But I have to like, so, you know, my entire, here's the really bad part. The really bad part here is that even if I wanted to keep my custom loop for my CPU, I can't. Well, I guess I could, but the way that my loop works is that my graphics card currently feeds the channels that go to my CPU. So if I take my graphics card out without and just put like plugs where it's supposed to go, coolant wouldn't get to my CPU. So like, I either have to get another water-cooled card or ditch all the water cooling components, and it's the very definition of writing off this experiment if I do that. Like, it's just going to be, I don't know. But we'll see. That's next week's Drew's problem. All right, everybody. Until next time.
Yeah, have a good whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah, keep doing the things that you're doing because you're doing them well.
I'm going to cut that out. That was awful.
No, the show is the show.